Shetani ashinde mfululizo. 5,000 types of lies.
The greatness of a nation.
To speak truth to power.
Hi guys, how are you today? Thank you so much for tuning in to Sikiliza TV. My name is Wilson Ochar and I'll be your political analyst for today. And in today's topic of conversation, I'd like us to talk about former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who seems to be now warning the Luo community about President William Ruto. And the big questions many Kenyans are asking, is he telling the truth or playing politics? Because this is not just a speech, it could shape alliances heading into 2027. So let's just watch this speech by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, then we're going to break it down for you shortly.
Urumia Wajaluo. Nyinyi Wajaluo. Nyinyi Wajaluo. Simuulize sisi. Alikuwa hapa na Biblia. Anasema mwadhani ya gosho. Gaini mwega na hindi siode. Sisi tukamwamini, tukampatia kura zetu, akatugeuka. Nimeona hapo kwenu kila siku anapika samaki, atimfikiria anapenda nyinyi. Hapa kwetu alikuwa amejifunza mpaka kupika mtura. By the time we realized we had been conned. So tunaona yeye huko kila siku, tunahurumia nyinyi. Akimalizana na nyinyi mtatuambia. Ask us, our Luo nation brothers. Talk to us. Ask us, who is this man? We will tell you. He came here and deceived us. He was here every Sunday, in every church with the 2 million shillings. Siku hizi ya kujangi hapa. Sasa amehamia kwa Wajaluo. Kila siku hapo huko, hata leo hapo huko. Same thing, same strategy. Same trick, same conmanship, same script, same results. Nyinyi Wajaluo, haya. Sisi hatutaki nyinyi mabaya, ni marafiki zetu. You are Kenyans. But we are telling you, talk to us. Raphael Tuju is one of your own. Amenyang'anywa mali yake yote na Chebet, proxy ya William Ruto. Na nyinyi mko pale mnapigia William Ruto makofi. Na amenyang'anya mtu yenu hoteli yake. Na bado akimalizana na nyinyi mtatuambia. ODM amemaliza. 27th is the head of ODM.
Nyinyi mmesoma sana, mmekula samaki, akili yenu iko juu zaidi, na nyinyi mko na maprofesa na madaktari. Lakini mimi ni rafiki yenu, nataka nimwambie nyinyi, huyu Kasongo ana shida huko kwenu vile alikuwa na shida hapa. Alikuja hapa akatudanganya na Biblia. Alikuwa anaiba nyimbo zetu. Alikuwa hata anaongea Kikuyu, akatuweka kwa box. Tukampatia kula milioni 4, akatupiga teke. Nyinyi Wajaluo, huyu Kasongo akimalizana na nyinyi mtakuja kuniambia. Juzi ameiba hoteli ya Raphael Tuju, Mjaluo kutoka huko Siaya. Jana usiku Raphael Tuju ametekwa nyara, wanataka kumuua. Sasa niulize nyinyi Wajaluo, huyu Kasongo ameumiza watu ya mlima mkiona. Sisi tumempatia kula milioni 4, nyinyi mundu kwa kula 1.5. Mkipatia ya kula atakuja kuumiza nyinyi. Amemaliza ODM, amemaliza biashara yenu, na nyinyi mnacheza na yeye. Sisi naibia nyinyi siri tu. What you do with the information is up to you. Mumeenda hasara kubwa hapo beleni. Mlikuwa mwendi kwa meza ya kitaifa direct. Mlikuwa mnatumia broker huko ODM. Akipata serikali anakula peke yake, anamwacha kwa mataa. Kuanzia leo mmepata kiongozi, mtaenda kwa meza direct.
Nani? Hapo ndio tuko. Mzee wetu Raila amepumzika. ODM imesaparatika.
Yeah, guys, so from that video, you can clearly see former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua made a very calculated statement. He praised the Luo community, calling them intelligent, educated, and strong, but then he issued a very stunning warning, claiming that be careful with William Ruto, because he seems to be comparing when President Ruto visits the Luo Nyanza, and he's comparing this to when President William Ruto campaigned in Mount Kenya before 2022 general elections. He claims that President Ruto at that time, he was speaking Kikuyu to them, he was attending churches, he was generously donating money to the churches, and he was building trust with the community. And according to him, this amounted President William Ruto getting 4 million votes from Mount Kenya. But unfortunately, towards the end, it appears that the President William Ruto betrayed former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And now the former DP Gachagua claims that the same script is being used and repeated in Nyanza, and the Luo voters with about 1.5 million votes, they are likely to face the same fate. And he even links this to Raphael Tuju saga. We clearly see he's claiming that the president is behind the property saga of Honorable Raphael Tuju. He's made allegations where the abductions were conducted by the government and the president under the president's orders, and he's also made claims of economic and political sabotage. And so the questions many Kenyans are asking, what is really going on? And one of the theories that many Kenyans are formulating is that there's opposition counter strategy, meaning that the opposition is currently responding to the Nyanza tour of President William Ruto. And because as we all know, President Ruto is actively trying to win the support of Luo Nyanza, and this is politically significant coming for the 2027 general elections. And so what happens is there's a strong narrative that is emerging where former DP Gachagua seems to be wanting to control the narrative, telling Luos and warning them, do not trust the president. Now, if we look at the issue raised by former DP Gachagua, is that especially on the issue of Raphael Tuju, if you watch my last video, we clearly pointed out that it appears that there was no abduction. It was confirmed, and the DCI found no evidence as the investigation pinged the cell phone of Honorable Raphael Tuju to his house, and it also emerged that they are also pressing charges against Honorable Raphael Tuju for providing false information to a public officer. So this becomes the question, is this a coordinated political message to undermine President Ruto's growing influence in Nyanza? Let me know in the comment section, guys. What do you think? Is this a coordinated political message to counter the Nyanza tour of President William Ruto as he's seeking to gain the support of Luo people in Nyanza? Because in politics, timing is never accidental. So many Kenyans have asked, why is this speech going viral at this moment? The second theory many Kenyans have formulated is that there's some truth in Gachagua's claims, and that Gachagua is not entirely wrong. And we can confirm for a statement of fact that President Ruto did campaign heavily in Mount Kenya. He did integrate culturally. Yes, we did remember him singing and speaking in Kikuyu, and he did secure massive support, as we clearly saw from the last election where President William Ruto gained massive support from Mount Kenya. But today that seems to have changed, because Mount Kenya feels politically divided. Some feel sidelined, and President Ruto is appearing to be doing the same in Nyanza, according to former DP Gachagua. And so the question is this betrayal or just political evolution? Because in politics, alliances shift all the time and interests change all the time, and so this seems to be a part of the political game. The third theory that most Kenyans are formulating online is that the politics is about interest and not loyalty. And the uncomfortable truth is that politics is not just about friendship, it's about interest. And that the moment these interests converge, you can expect political leaders to work together. And the moment this interest fails to converge, then you can expect betrayal to be the order of the day. And from the timeline, you can clearly see in 2022, Mount Kenya's interests were aligned with President Ruto. And today, the Luo political interests are aligning with President Ruto. And this is the reason why it appears that the Luos are supporting President William Ruto, while the Mount Kenya people seem to be against President William Ruto. So naturally, power shifts. And Gachagua's argument assumes that President Ruto betrays everyone. But in reality, the reality is different, because leaders support those who support them. And if interests align, you benefit. If they don't, you lose the influence. And that's just politics. That's what most Kenyans are formulating online, or at least giving the theory online. The fourth theory is that former DP Gachagua's own political repositioning it seems to be the reason why. And because we all know former DP Gachagua was impeached, and he's now formed the DCP party, and he's rebuilding political relevance in Mount Kenya. And so what does he need? He needs new alliances. He needs new voter base. And Luo Nyanza is strategic to former DP Rigathi Gachagua. And so this speech could be less about warning the Luos, but more about introducing himself to Luo voters. And so many Kenyans seems to be suggesting that this could be a strategy of Rigathi Gachagua luring Luo voters away from President William Ruto. And this is all part of countering the campaign strategy of President William Ruto seeking votes of Luo Nyanza. The fifth theory that many Kenyans are formulating online is that misreading Luo politics, in that former DP Gachagua seems to be assuming that every Luo voter is fully behind President William Ruto, but he seems to be forgetting that there are leaders such as Governor James Orengo and MP Babu Owino who are opposed to President William Ruto, and therefore his assumption that every Luo is going to vote for President William Ruto, referencing the 1.5 million votes, seems to be misreading the Luo politics. And historically, it shows that Luos are united. Luos were united under Raila Amolo Odinga, and during Raila Amolo Odinga's time, even though he was working with government, those who didn't like that he was working with government were still in support of Raila Amolo Odinga. So there's a situation where Raila Amolo Odinga was able to unite all Luos, regardless of whether who the president was, and regardless of whether former Prime Minister Raila Odinga himself was making a mistake working with the government of the day. And so that dynamic is changing, because right now Honorable Raila Odinga is not there, and the Luo nation seems to be divided. And so Luo politics is no longer one directional. And so this speech by Rigathi Gachagua seems to be misreading Luo politics, assuming all Luos are still united like before when Raila Odinga was still alive. And so Honorable Rigathi Gachagua needs to properly read the Luo politics before making such assumptions. The sixth theory is that there's a tribal narrative strategy being applied by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. And so former DP Gachagua seems to be reviving a familiar narrative in that the Kikuyu betrayal versus Luo victimhood, because historical references show that during the independence period where Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and Jomo Kenyatta, they were strongly positioned to be the first leaders of Kenya after independence, but power struggles post-independence clearly show it's still going on, and this is becoming an emotional political topic, and in politics, the emotional narratives always mobilize faster than facts or policy. And therefore, this could be also another reason, as we all know, former Vice President Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was positioned to be the first president of Kenya, and because of his selflessness, he shelved his ambition of becoming the first president of Prime Minister of Kenya, and instead he advocated for the release of Jomo Kenyatta from detention and prison in the United Kingdom. And upon the return of first President Jomo Kenyatta, he also shelved his ambition again and allowed former President Jomo Kenyatta to become the first president of Kenya. But as things stand out, history shows us that their friendship did not last long, as they fell apart. And ever since that moment, Luos have not been able to seen the position of presidency, and where most Luos were banking on supporting former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to break this, which appears to be a curse or a momentum that was slowed down. And so since Raila Odinga was not able to become president, there seems to be a continuous tribal narrative where Rigathi Gachagua is trying to take advantage and use emotional narrative to mobilize the votes of Luos into his new party DCP. And also the seventh theory most Kenyans are formulating online is that there's an internal Mount Kenya confusion, because former DP Gachagua claims Mount Kenya has turned against Ruto. But we clearly see UDA still winning by elections. Leaders from Mount Kenya are still supporting the current President William Ruto. We have leaders like Governor Wamatangi. We have the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki from Mount Kenya, and there are so many other MPs like Shungwa MP, and we also have other MCAs who are fully in support of President William Ruto. And so the big question many Kenyans are asking, does Gachagua truly control Mount Kenya through his party DCP? Because if not, his warning to Luo voters loses weight completely. Because former DP Gachagua seems to be under the assumption that his DCP party is the controlling party in Mount Kenya, but the outcome of by-elections seems to be suggesting otherwise, and therefore most Kenyans and most Luos in Luo Nyanza are claiming that his assumption and this internal Mount Kenya confusion loses weight completely, and there is no legal basis for him to warn Luos against supporting President William Ruto. The eighth theory that many Kenyans are formulating is that there's the fear of 2027 realignment, and this must be the biggest factor, because if President Ruto successfully penetrates Nyanza politically and maintains Rift Valley parts of Mount Kenya, then 2027 becomes very difficult to beat him. And so what do opponents and competitors such as former DP Rigathi Gachagua have to do? They have to stop the expansion early. And this speech could be preemptive political strike and is meant to slow down President William Ruto's penetration into Nyanza, seeking the votes of Luo people. The other theory is that this is creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. His former DP Gachagua seems to be wanting to play a smart political trick, and he seems to be saying that if you convince people, he seems to be applying that if he convince people that they will be betrayed, then they will withdraw their support early, and when they withdraw their support, they will actually lose influence, which then looks like betrayal. So the question is many Kenyans are asking, is former DP Gachagua warning Luos, or is he shaping their reaction? And let me know in the comment section, guys, what are your thoughts? Is former DP Gachagua warning Luos, or is he shaping their reaction? And let me know in the comment section. The other theory many Kenyans seems to be formulating online is that this is a distraction from bigger issues, because Kenya is currently facing economic pressure. Many Kenyans are facing the rise of cost of living concerns. Many Kenyans are also having governance questions, but then suddenly former DP Gachagua is turning a tribal political debate to dominate the headlines. And is this a good coincidence or a distraction? So let me know in the comment section, guys, what are your thoughts? To finalize, in my opinion, because based on the facts, available facts, is we all know Honorable Raphael Tuju's abduction was not an abduction, because he clearly confirmed himself that he was able to escape. So he was not abducted. We all know the legal process is going on. His appeal was dismissed. Therefore, he's left with one appeal to the Supreme Court. And so there's no evidence directly linking the president to all of this, other than the political, there's a political competition for 2027 general election, and it would not make politically, and in politically speaking, it does not make any sense for President Ruto to attack any member of the region that he's trying to win the votes from. So with the Honorable Raphael Tuju coming from Nyanza and President Ruto touring Nyanza, it is counterproductive and not possible for President William Ruto to be attacking a member of Luo Nyanza at the same time, knowing that it could jeopardize his political ambitions of gaining votes from people from Luo Nyanza. So this, which strengthens the argument, is this is definitely a political counter strategy. And let me know in the comment section, guys, what are your thoughts? Is this a political counter strategy? The United Opposition have seen President William Ruto touring and visiting Nyanza. Possibly they've received intelligence that he's spending a lot of money in Nyanza, and this seems to be worrying them, and so they want to come up with a political counter strategy in order to slow down President William Ruto's influence in the region. And so guys, let me know in the comment sections below. Please let me know, is former DP Gachagua exposing the truth, or is he playing politics? Let me know in the comment section. And the second question is, will Luo Nyanza support President William Ruto in 2027? Let me know what are your thoughts. We all know Luo Nyanza is divided into two. There's the Linda ground, there's Linda Mwananchi, and we're still waiting to see which of the two factions of ODM will be able to make President William Ruto a two-term president or a one-term president. So, but if you already know the answers, let me know in the comment section. The other question, is this about betrayal or shifting interests? Let me know in the comment section. Is politics, is this about betrayal or shifting interest? And the last question is, who's really winning this political battle? Let me know in the comment section if former DP Gachagua or President William Ruto is winning this political battle. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll appreciate like this video if you've watched this video up to this point. Thank you so much. I appreciate your views. Share it across all your friends in Kenya who also like watching politics. I'll appreciate it also if you can subscribe to our channel Sikiliza TV, because we don't just report politics, we break it down for you to better understand what is going on. And as usual, stay informed, stay critical, and stay tuned to Sikiliza TV. It has been my time. My name is Wilson Ochar. I've been your host for today, and thank you so much for your views for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.